In this video, I will be covering everything you need to know for applying to the University of Toronto. I am Peter Yu. I am a computer science student at the University of Toronto Scarborough. I do not know why I said my last name. And this is what I've learned so far as a first year at the University of Toronto. In this video, I'm going to be covering about 7 major topics that I wish I would have known before coming here. And those are classes, difficulties, social situations, like money, just general getting into U of T, just like the dorm life or like dorm in general, and just some other notes. So let's get into it. Okay, this section I will be talking about classes. And here I will be talking about easy like elective or bird courses you should take, graduational class requirements, like general schedule building, like major switching, and like the general class registration process, because I was very confused. Okay, so first of all, let me just talk about graduational class requirements, because this kind of links into bird courses or elective courses. You need to have a class or a credit or half a credit in arts and literature, history, philosophy or cultural studies, social and behavioral science, quantitative reasoning, or natural science. However, most people with their degree will complete one just because of your degree. Like if you're in health sci, you're going to complete natural science because chemistry, physics, yada yada yada. If you're in computer science, quantitative reasoning because math. Anyways, and then social behavioral sciences, history, and arts and literature, those are usually the ones people try to like bird course or electives. For me, I took business so that I could fulfill the social and behavioral science, and then I also took ethics, Lena, which is linguistics. These are all great bird courses I recommend. For history, philosophy, and cultural studies, Intro to Philosophy, I've heard is a good one. I took ethics, Intro to Ethics. For social and behavioral science, just take MGT-AO1, Intro to Business. And then usually if you like your quantitative reasoning and your natural science, you will probably fulfill course loads. However, if you need something for natural science, just take any ESA class. I've heard they're pretty light. Next topic is just schedule building. I'm gonna personally talk about the University of Toronto Scarborough campus here, for at least this section. If you're at the Scarborough campus, you're most likely in a co-op program. So I recommend for your first year to do 4 or 5 classes. Don't take 3. I know some people that take 3, but like there is exceptions, which I'll get to. But if you're in the program you want to be in, so if you're in CS and you wanted to be in CS, take 4 or 5, you'll be okay. I don't say take 4 cores though. I say like usually you should do about 3 core courses, and then I'll take like business and then like philosophy. However, so that's what I would recommend. And then on top of that, you have to take your co-op class. Don't forget about that. So I recommend sign up for those early. Take those courses as well. They're pretty light. Just pay attention, do your homework, you're okay. More than 5 classes, why? No. I recommend about 4 classes if you just want to focus more on like your grades and stuff. 5 classes if you can handle it. I did 5 in my first semester and 5 in my second semester. However, for my summer semester, I'm going to 4 now because I finished all of my breath requirements or my bird courses. Anyways, however, if you're a different major trying to switch in, so a good example of this is if you're in math and you're trying to switch into computer science. In this instance, just take 3 if you can take 4, because everything about course switching, like major switching, is GPA based. I have a lot of friends right now who have to take the exact same courses as me, but I don't have the stress about like, oh, I need to get a 4.0 or I need to get a 3.7 because I'm already in CS, whereas a lot of my math major friends who are trying to get in here have to like really focus on that. So in that situation, I do just recommend just take less courses, easier lifetime. Class registration. Okay, in this class registration begins July, if I'm not mistaken, and I just recommend you go to the UTSC Toronto website and just look at when enrollment begins. Okay, the way that enrollment works for this school is that you just have to go to your Acorn account, and then from there, pretty straightforward process. You have to just add the courses in the course cart, and then once registration opens, you can just enroll in all of them. However, I do recommend making it out first before like it opens, and then desperately trying to get into the website when it opens and then applying as fast as you can, because your courses do get filled up fast, at least for the times that you want. So yeah, so basically for that process, it's pretty straightforward. Just go to Acorn, everything's handled there, and it's pretty good. And also use the degree schedule maker. I didn't know that existed, but a lot of my friends appreciated that service, so use that one. Anyways, that's the end of the class section, and we'll go to the next section. So I'll see you there. How is it to live in Scarborough? Alright, so in this section, I'm just gonna go talk about like general living in campus, move in, move out process, and how like the food here is, and just like generally like what's around us. Okay, so let me first start with food. I think from my vlogs, you guys kind of have seen like what the general food here is, at least for Harmony food, which is the food that's offered in your meal plan. The way I experience it, it started off really bad. However, they slowly have gotten the hang of it since it's a brand new building. So the food has gotten a lot better. However, it's still not the greatest. Anyways, food around campus that we have is very bare. We have like a Subway, we have like a Tim Hortons, a Starbucks. That's really it. Like we are kind of like around nothing. Also pushes me into the next section, which is what do we have around us. And like around res, there's not really anything to do unless you can like take a 20-minute bus somewhere. Then like you kind of have more of your options. But yeah, we are kind of really in an isolated location. So if you like that feeling, come here. If you don't, Scarborough may not be the option for you. Anyways, difference between reses. So at the Scarborough campus, there is 3 different types of reses that you get. You have Harmony, which is the building that I'm in, which is a brand new building, which is actually the one that most people should get. You have the townhouses, which are slightly cheaper, but they are very isolated from like, you have to walk about 5 minutes to come get food every day, whereas I can just go down an elevator. So that is an issue for a lot of people. And then you also have John Foley, but that's only for upper year. So if you're a first year, you can't get it anyway. But yeah, I recommend Harmony. It's a new building, not really many issues. Anyways, moving in and moving out process. So moving in is pretty straightforward compared to other universities. Like you just move in on a certain day. Moving out is kind of interesting. As you can see, I've already started like the general packing of my room. So there's 2 different types of moving out. There's the temporary moving out when the university kicks you out for like winter break. And then there's just like the final move out, which I have to go through right now as I'm going to summer semester. So that's just like also pretty straightforward. It's just whenever your exam ends, like not the exam period of the school, but your specific, when your last exam, you have to leave within 24 hours or you get charged, which is, I don't like that, but I understand it. So if you're doing fall and winter, for winter break, you do get kicked out. Anyways, on to the next section. Social situations or people here. I'm going to debunk a lot of the common myths here, like people gatekeeping information or just like the general U of T population to be known as like antisocial or like introverted. So let me just, and like I'm also gonna delve into different clubs and activities you can do, as well as just like the general like party life here, etc, etc. So anyways, I've been asked by a lot of people watching my videos if like people here gatekeep or information or like are not eager to help others. I have found that this is quite frankly not really that true, because everyone I've met so far does not really hold information. We all kind of have the mentality of if I pass, I want you to pass with me. So that is not really true. Anyways, next topic is this place being antisocial. There are of course some people here that prefer less social interaction with others. However, I haven't really found that to be a big issue, as there's a lot of people here and a lot of people like socializing. Anyways, different clubs. So there are many clubs here that are offered, not as like many as like obviously St. George or like UBC, but here there's like a decent amount of clubs, like sporting clubs that I'm in, like coding clubs, etc. So most people will find something that they actively enjoy. Anyways, last topic here is party life. If you want party life, don't come here. End of story. There is zero party life on this campus. St. George, there's slightly more, but also still insignificant compared to other schools. So if you really want party life, don't choose Toronto, but I think you all know that. So let's go to the next section. Okay, so I don't know why I'm doing this upside down, but the next topic is difficulty. Okay, in this section, I'm going to uncover at least the truth on grade deflation, as well as my transition from high school to university. Oh, I'm losing oxygen. Okay, so anyways, grade deflation. As many of you know, that U of T kind of tries to drop class averages like other unis, and that is very true. The university has a set average they want to achieve, but they're also fine with achieving less than this average. Usually it's around 65 to 70. However, achieving less than this class average, they're also like fine with. So just know it will be very hard. Like I was talking to one of my teachers and he told me in high school, the way teachers make their exams and their assignments is if you pay attention in like lectures and you try, like the teacher basically tries to make everyone get 100. So as long as you listen to the teacher, you do your studying, like they want you to hit the high 90s, high 80s marks. However, in university, basically every class you study 10 hours, you go to lectures, you do the homeworks, you will end up with a 70 is what the difficulty is set as. So you kind of have to do above and beyond if you want to achieve that high 4.0, high 90s, etc, etc. I was a straight A student in high school. I had a set average, I think it was 97.8, 98, somewhere around those lines. I did zero studying in high school. I think from grade 9 to grade 12, I did a total of 4 hours of studying, maybe less. So I came from a place where I didn't really try. So I expected my transition to be really easy. It was not. My first semester was a wake-up call, and my second semester now. I so far have studied more than I ever thought humanly possible. I live in my, not really my textbooks, but I live in my notes. I do practice problems, stuff like that, and I have gotten more adjusted to the university format. However, it is not easy at all. APs and IBs do help. I was an AP student, and I at least have found that it helps you bridge the connection between some of the concepts, which is really helpful. Anyways, let's move on to the next section. This is just about getting into U of T, or more notably as just like how the registration process will, like application or registration process, how it is to like the specialization and the co-op and how that works, and just the general process for getting into the school. Let me first start off with just the grade requirements. This is a very grade-focused school. For most programs, you'll still need a 90, and like for harder programs like computer science, at least that I'm in, the grading to enter this program was a 97. So it is a very grade strict and grade heavy school. Other than that, for computer science, at least for me, I had no other application. It was strictly grade-based. However, for my friends in business, neuroscience, paramedicine, they all had to do a second application, which was essays and all of that. So note that that will also be a part of your application. Anyways, once you make it into U of T, you may think, at least U of T Scarborough, you may think the pain is over. No. For most majors, especially like computer science, math, etc., once you make it, you actually didn't make it. You're in this like zone where you're technically a computer science or a math student. However, you aren't specialized. So it's rather when you get to second year, you specialize, which is GPA dependent, or you double major, which there's some problems associated with that. Yeah, so just be expected to do a lot of work when you get into uni as well. Scholarships here, at least for the entrance scholarships, are also just strictly dependent on grades. At least for my stuff, I got all my scholarships were just because my average was high. So just know if you have a high average, it does pay off in the long run. And once you make the university, I know some people had conditionals, which is like they had actual conditionals, which they need to like maintain an 80 on certain classes or stuff like that. I was never told. So for me, I did call the university. I talked to a bunch of people. All I really known was as long as my average doesn't drop about 5%, like my final cumulative average, I was good to go for the uni. So just know it does vary from people to person, and if it doesn't state any conditionals, just call the uni and just ask them. Anyways, that's all about the just getting into U of T, the registration process. So let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so about money. Here in this section of money, I'm going to talk just about general expenses that you like occur by going here, and then some ways to also get free money, because as college students or university students, we are broke. Anyways, so let me first start off with, if you like got accepted into U of T, two first things you should do is apply for UTAPS, which is just a U of T grant that just gives you free money. If you're at Scarborough campus, the UTSC grant. I think in my first year, I got about $6,000 of just free money from the uni, which is really nice. Anyways, other ways for you to make free money here is by the entrance like grade-based scholarship. So I'm pretty sure this ranges from $2,000 to $10,000. For like if you're domestic, internationals, it's a lot more, but they also pay a lot more, so it kind of evens out. Also, another thing, if you're a Canadian student, that I should first point over is like if you apply for like Canadian loans, most of the time the Canadian government will also give you a grant. So if you request for like $10,000, they'll give you like $2,000 as a grant, so you don't have to pay it off. So that's also technically free money. Anyways, some just random like general expenses that I paid for my first year is you have to pay for, you can opt out of it of course, but I chose to pay for like my healthcare here, and as well as my dental care and my glasses care, which kind of, I think I generated a net profit, because if you need glasses, the uni, if you buy like the eye plan, it's like I think it's 200, 150, something like that, and they do just give you $200 for new glasses and stuff, so it does kind of work out in your favor. Anyways, some just like the general price of U of T. For me, you also have to know that after your first year, it does get more expensive. I'm pretty sure everything doubles, because I paid about $8,000 in my first year just for tuition alone, and now in next year I think I'm paying 14 to 15 grand. So yeah, just know that if you're in, at least this is the Scarborough campus, because you specialize, so technically then you have to pay extra. It's really weird. Just know that university is not cheap, so unless you really know what you want to do, don't come here. Anyways, on to the next section. Anyways, this is just like my general notes that I feel like you should know about this is strictly again for the University of Toronto Scarborough campus. Anyways, the atmosphere here, like the general feeling you get at the school, like I've said before, it feels like a high school. The campus is small. You know basically a lot of the people here. You will see them every day as you walk by. You will get to know your teachers quite well. So it feels like a high school. That's the atmosphere. It's just a high school with a crap ton of stress. Anyways, also just know if you're in the Scarborough campus, there's nothing to do here. Everything is about a 15 to 20 minute bus away. Or if you want to go to downtown, that is an hour away. Just know that at the Scarborough campus, there's nothing to do here. So if you want that true uni experience, go downtown. Come here for co-op only, or if you want smaller class sizes, that's what I would recommend. Yeah, and those are just the general notes that I just had about the school. So hope you guys enjoyed. It is my short little video, probably not that short, but yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna catch you on the next one. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one.